Hello, and welcome back. As I mentioned before, I love to share stories about language learners. I do this so that students can get a sense that they are not alone, which in turn can lower their affective filter. In the bonus material at the end of this module, you can read stories by students who are learning a language. In their stories, these learners share their frustrations and difficulties in learning a new language and culture. Having your learners read stories about what was successful and not successful is an excellent way to help your learners examine and broaden their own language learner strategies. For example, if you tell the story of François Guan to your students, you can then invite them to think about what strategies he should have used. Another useful way to help students use successful strategies is by looking at the good language learner studies. A number of studies have tried to identify what good language learners do and what cognitive and metacognitive strategies they employ in order to be successful. While not every strategy is expected to be successful for every student, helping language learners know what strategies are likely to be more successful can be an extremely liberating process and give students motivation to take more risk. Good language learners predict. Good language learners will often guess or be invited to guess what the topic will be about. Students who are good at picking up on social and contextual clues often become better language learners. Use selective attention. Good language learners often pay attention to only a particular aspect of a lesson. They will decide in advance to ignore distracting information and pay attention only to what they believe is important. Prepare. Learners who prepare in advance often do better. For example, a learner who writes down notes about what he or she wants to say generally will excel over a student who simply tries to speak with no preparation. Again, look ridiculous. Learners who are willing to look foolish often make better language students. They don't worry about what they look like, they focus on the task and try to accomplish it. Practice. Learners who practice are better able to master the skill of language. Practice should be at the core of any language class. Monitor. Monitoring refers to correction of your own speech for accuracy and pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, and appropriateness. A learner who pays attention to both form and meaning is often the best language learner. Ask questions. Learners who learn to ask questions to those around them and get answers to those questions are more likely to be successful. Take notes. Learners who write down what they hear and discuss are more likely to remember and better able to retain. Use imagery. Learners who relate new information to a visualization often perform better, especially at recall. Find an answer in multiple ways. Good language learners are able to find answers from dictionaries, teachers, students, and other sources. They don't get information from just one source. Use physical response. Good language learners can relate information such as new vocabulary to a physical action, and this helps deepen their memory. Play. Good language learners practice reordering a meaningful sentence by using words in a new way. They play with language. Now, did you notice that as we went through these strategies, that some of the good language learner strategies are similar to good teacher strategies? Even if your learners never actively learn any of these strategies, you can still encourage the use of them within your classroom. Help students predict, ask questions, use imagery, and play. Well, that's it for today's lesson. By the way, this leads us to our next metaphor about teachers. We hope you will agree that learners need to know not just what to learn, but how to learn. And as a language teacher, you play a serious role in helping give them correct strategies. In a sense, you are guiding them along a correct path by encouraging them to go in certain directions. So the metaphor we want you to remember is that as a teacher, you are often a trail guide, helping your learners along a path with obstacles and choices. You help learners to avoid certain pitfalls that Francois fell into and discover strategies that they should use instead. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next video.